Hey all, this is Professor with Tight Check. I'm going to show you how to create a scorecard. Okay? This is useful not just for the casino customers file or the healthcare diabetes file, but in general, a skill that many jobs are going to ask you about. And I decided to do a short video to kind of go through the entire process. Okay? So in this example, I've got a customer profile sheet. So for simplicity, let's assume or pretend that each of these different color schemes are a different sheet. Okay, different sheet or just a different area. So I've got my customer profile, which says if any of my customers have a code of 4-2, then they must eat pizza. They must consume 3 free sodas. They must not be married, and they must not have children. In order for these customers to belong in 4.2 or 4-2, these 3 things must occur within a 75% or greater accuracy level. Okay? So 75% or greater accuracy level. So let's dive into that. So this is my customer list. And my team of people, that did this work before, let's say you're auditing someone's work, said, yep, Michelle, she's in code 4-2, and here are her statistics. Bill, he's in 1-1, here's his statistics. Here's Tina's, she's in 1-1, here's her statistics. Your job in this situation is to mash up, and mash up means like mashed potatoes. If you ever make mashed potatoes from baked potatoes, you're smashing things, you're putting in maybe some salt, some butter, some cheese, pepper, some sour cream if you're making homemade ones. Right? You're mashing all this stuff up, you're mixing it together. So what you're going to do is mix up the customer profile sheet with the customer list, but you're going to do it over here in the mashup sheet or extension of this guy here. Okay? Let's just say you're going to do that over here. Okay? So how do we do this? Well, we're going to VLOOKUP. So first and foremost, when we do the mashup, we're going to want to grab the customer name so that we know for sure that we're going to do this accurately. So I just grabbed the customer name. Okay, very simple. Now it gets more complex. Now I need to VLOOKUP all of the 4-2 variables into these columns here. I don't care about Michelle at this point, but I need all of the attributes from over in customer profile sheet to come over to profile mashup. And I'll explain why with the math coming. So I'm going to do my VLOOKUP. Okay. I'm going to look for code 4-2, and I'm going to go over here with my code. Okay, click on that. I want to bring back column 2 because I'm looking for food. Okay, and so I'm going to do that. I'm just going to bring all of that over, just like that. And I'm going to make a couple more VLOOKUPs here. I'm going to freeze my column, absolute cell reference this stuff. Absolute cell reference the column here, not the row. And then just bring it down again. Okay, so now I can drag across. Okay, you'll see that it says pizza. Well, that's because I got to change the column number up here to 3, and then change it to 4. Whoops, not 42. 4, and then to 5. Okay? And so now I'm just going to bring this down again to all my rows, and now I've got my data. Okay, so basically 5-5, this line here, is the same thing as 5-5 over here. That is what we wanted to do here. Okay, we didn't do any math yet, any algorithms, but now we mashed it up. So if Michelle truly belongs in 4-2, then all of these variables, or at least 75% of them, will be the same as what these are. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, it sounds like an if statement to me. Okay, so if favorite food for Michelle in the actual customer list equals the favorite food from the mashup, put a 1, else put a 0. Okay, so see what happened here? I did an if statement. If, again, if favorite food from customer list, so let's just say actual customer list. So these are the actual listed food choices and sodas and attributes for Michelle. She filled out a form or she answered some questions somehow, whatever. If it's the same as what we, as marketing research people or the people that have done this work beforehand, if they got it right, then we would get a 1. Okay, so let's just keep going down here. Okay, and in fact, let's insert another column here for name. Just like we did here, let's just put the name in here for these folks, just so we can talk about it in a moment. Not needed at this point, but just for lecture purposes. Okay, so look at here. Bill. Bill is in 1-1. According to his profile that we've decided as marketers to develop, he should like hot dogs if he's in 1-1, if it's accurate. Now let's go over to his list. He listed his favorite food as pizza. Okay, so we have a problem here. They don't match. Therefore, we got a 0. Okay, so that's how the binary works here. Now, what's really cool, the way we set this up with the columns lining up and the rows lining up, I don't have to do any more if statements. I can just drag this formula across, and it'll automatically calculate. Just double check, double check. It did that. So now, what I want you to do in the score column is a sum. Sum these matches together. Okay, so there's 2 matches with Michelle. And scroll down. We've got 2 matches, 2 matches, 2 matches, a 3 for Anna, 2 for Elsa, and 4 for Teresa. So we've got 4 variables, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now I want you to add another column here. Okay, I want you to add a column for percent score. Okay, and I'll just text wrap this so it lines up a little bit. Doesn't go all too crazy here. Okay, so now I'm going to do the score divided by the total possible points, which is 4, because favorite food, free soda, married, children, all equal 1 point each. So I'm going to put a 4 here. Okay, and I'm going to put a percentage, drag this down, and now let's do a color scale. Okay, let's make sure it looks good. If it's let's do this kind of here. Okay, so green is good here, red is bad. But in our situation, we require a score of 75% or better. Okay, so now let's do another column saying, for lack of better terms, is profile accurate? Okay, so it's a yes or no question here. Okay, how do we do this? Well, I told you that in order for the profile to be accurate, it has to be a 75% or better score. So we can do an if statement here. If score, so this AA4 is greater than or equal to 0.75, then say yes. Otherwise, put no. Okay, and we'll bring this down here. And I know it's not pretty. The data ink isn't good here. So just bear with me. Again, you can do another color scale if you like. Conditional formatting. Data bar or highlight cells, actually, that would be better. If it equals the word yes, then let's put in a nice green color here. So now we know we actually don't need any of this, right? What we could do is say, hide all this, because we got our score. This is what we were after. So now we know that we've got 2 yeses and some nos. Here's what I want you to do next. I want you to create a pivot table of some sort. Your choice, your creativity here. I'm testing your ability here to be creative, get the job done. So you've done some great work so far if this is what your project was about. But now I want you to give me the average accuracy by code. So again, these are the 4 codes way over here. So what I would expect is you would have another column or some sort that says uh, accuracy score. Okay? And so that would be an average if. Average if. If this range here, or if this range here equals this guy over here, okay, then do a sum. Okay? Now, we don't have a sum here, so I'm just going to put this for now. It's going to come back with divide by 0. But what I'm going to do is, instead of a yes or no, now I'm just going to put a 1 or a 0. Okay? So now, instead of yes, I'm going to have 1s there. See that? 1s are right there. Now, I can do my math and say, what is my average score based on these things? So my average score is 50% or 100%. So basically, for all of my customers that are in 5-7, I have a 100% accuracy score. Okay? Now, here's the next step that I want you to take this to. I want you to think. Think critically. So we've got a 100% score here. Hooray, great. You know, that's what we want to know. But how many customers are in a 5-7 category? 1. So I want you to do a write-up. I want you to report back your accuracy scores by customer codes. There's customer profile codes. And then I want you to write up how accurate you feel the data set is. Now, obviously, if you're doing casino customers, you're going to have over 15,000 customers. So I'm confident you're not going to have this issue where you only have 1 or 2 people that represent an entire category. But you should take a look at it, talk through it, look at it. Those of you doing the diabetes project, you get to come up with not just this, but you remember you got to do no diabetes, pre-diabetes, and diabetic. So what you need to do is say, if you were doing a score just like this, and you would, these are all your variables like your A1C, your blood glucose, your kidney, all those variables that you have in your project. Let's say that's what these were. And your accuracy score is more about, accuracy or, level of illness. Okay? So you decide. I'm not going to recommend, but let's just say if your score comes back at less than equal to 33%, then maybe you want to say no, but no diabetes. Anything higher than that, then pre-diabetic, but over 75% maybe diabetic. Now, it's not as simple as that. Like I said, for the diabetes project, you have to kind of understand which variables are weighted more. For example, in this casino one, like I said, we basically weighted these each equally as 1, 1, 1. So you might, in your diabetes project, say, you know what, A1C is very important. Wink, wink, it is indeed, so I give you a hint here. So you might want to put a 3 for it, and then build a weighted average based on the scores, okay? But you'll get back to this if this was your project, okay?